Good morning. This is the Melodic Investor. My name is Antoine, and I wanted to come on this morning and hopefully give you some Monday motivation. Get you ready for the week. We're a good portion of the way through a year. So hopefully you've been able to hit some of your goals, and if not, hopefully you can finish the year strong. However, I wanted to come on and talk about, what I would do if I was gonna start today. We're given the climate we're in as far as interest rates and as far as how expensive it is to acquire real estate today. I made a video before talking about how I paid zero money down, and as I was reflecting on that, I realized that this is something that I did to kind of boost me forward, and this is advice that I would give to anybody today. So just to circle back or to tie that out, when I got the USDA loan, for those of you who don't know, maybe you didn't watch the video, I bought my first home with zero money down, zero out of pocket. And at the closing table, after I signed my documents, I actually got a $1,000 check handed to me back. So, but one of the ways that I wish I'd have done it sooner, I didn't do it right out of the gate. I kind of did it at the tail end. But I wish I would have got the property. It's a single family home, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, not even multiple units or anything like that. But if I would have had roommates right out of the gate, that would have been huge for me in my wealth building journey and able to build wealth and to be able to get the next asset. I would have shortened my time frame there. Now, hopefully this is the if you're younger and maybe you're just starting out, I would highly recommend you do this. Get roommates, since you're already kind of in that modality. Get your roommates, rent your rooms out, figure out what you need to cover your mortgage and utilities. In my experience, roommates like one cost. They like to pay one price, you know what I mean? And with everything included in that price, kind of like a gross lease, which is another video I talked about. So I did that. I happen to be, and this is a gym right here, I happen to be near a college. I live near a college, and I think college students, they're great to rent from. Obviously, you got to go through your screening processes and all that stuff. But I was able to charge $700 for a room, per room, and I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, $700, and I rented out 2 rooms, and that was all included, all utilities. And I kept the master bedroom for myself because I didn't need a lot of space, kept the master bedroom for myself, rented out the 2 bedrooms. That covered my mortgage and some. Now, I wasn't necessarily saving a whole lot. Maybe I was even paying a little bit higher utility costs, but I was okay with that because I wasn't paying a mortgage. So that's definitely something I would consider when you're first starting out. One of the things you want to look at is you want that 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. That's definitely what I looked at. College towns are great just for the simple fact that students will rent there. And it's cheaper than being on dorm. And as far as my house rules, because you're going to need to have some type of structure in place if you do plan on going down this track. When you're living with someone, obviously you want to maintain a certain level of a standard of living. Cleanliness is a huge thing. So I had house rules, and I went over all of those rules with each of my roommates. And so this is my expectation. I'm not your mom or dad. I'm just here to, you do what you want, have whoever you want to have over. Even if they wanted to have little study parties or whatever, I was okay with that. I said, but let's plan it out on the calendar so that the whole house is in agreement. So it can be a little bit more to manage, a lot of more moving parts there. I can make a video about that if that's something you guys are more interested in, or how I kind of did it. But I literally had, since I knew students were already in that mode of kind of learning and structure, I literally had a green sheet. You know what I mean? You could print it out on a piece of green paper and kind of go over that with them. As you signing a lease, just go over it and say, look, this is my expectation. You have free reign. Only thing I ask is that, during these certain times, whatever it is, 7 to 10 is quiet hours. And, I just my standard run-of-the-mill stuff. No one pushed back on it. Everyone actually was okay with it, and they did have study groups over and stuff like that. I didn't care, you know what I mean? But that really helped me in taking the load off of trying to cover a mortgage, and it really covered a lot of my costs. And then, of course, you want to make sure they're respectful for your neighbors, right? You don't want to create issues there. And maybe you already own a home and you look at how you can make extra cash. Renting to students is a great option. Even if you're renting out one bedroom, or you had a basement, or you had something that was livable, you don't want to be renting a crappy space out. So I did that. The flip side of that is, let's say you already have a family and kids. Well, obviously that gets a little more trickier. Only way I'd say you can get around that is if you had a ADU of some sort that maybe was a detached piece of property, like on your property. Those can be great for students. Obviously, you need to live in an area where, it's not too far from a nearby college. That's always helpful. Again, I've also talked about my buy box. I need to do a video on that, by the way, of things that I look for when I buy real estate. I think I'll do one on commercial, what I look for in commercial real estate. Not that I've ever bought in a commercial building, but I've worked in the industry long enough to know, and been a part of acquisitions to know what you should be looking for. So I'll make something like that. But also buying a home, specifically a home that you want to become a rental down the road. That's something that you want to have clear criteria what you're looking for, so that you attract the right buyer or right renter. That's something to look forward to. So that's a thought for a lot of people out there if you're looking to make some extra income. Airbnb your space, you could, but again, that's going to boil down to your location. 1 second here. Like the fire truck or something. Okay, anyway. So you want to be in an area that is conducive to, if you're in the inner city, you could possibly do something like that. But I wouldn't recommend it if you're not. If you're in the suburbs, you want to it all depends on your renter and who you're going after, right? But yeah, when you have a family, it could be a lot more difficult. Like, I have 2 small children. I don't know if, I'd be comfortable having someone live in my space that was a student. That would be, it would have to be a long-term relationship there, that I knew the person, or my wife knew the person, or something like that. So with the family, this is not necessarily for you. However, you can still use some of these ideas as far as if you wanted to implement buying your first single family home as an investment. If you guys wanted to do that, I'd highly recommend you do that. But even if I didn't live in the house, I think having the roommate model is a really good model to make money, because that's why we do this. Todd Baldwin is a really good, I would say, mastered this concept. There's a little bit more nuance there. Like, you gotta, I fully furnished, because I had my stuff, right? The living room, I had laundry, I had dishes, coffee pot, all that stuff. I even had different shelves labeled out within the unit to the top shelf is yours, room A, the bottom mid shelf is room B. I usually gave myself, I inconvenienced myself the most because I wanted it to be most convenient for my roommates. And quite frankly, I didn't need a lot of space at the time. This is before I had kids and all that stuff. Even the backyard, I tried to have patio furniture out there and let someone sit outside, and make it nice, But those are things you want to be thinking about if this is something you want to do. If doing the roommate model, like if you did a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, you're going to have 3 leases for one house. Now, if you're a person or a couple who's looking to just buy a house and do this model, it's a little bit more involved, right? There's a lot more moving parts, as opposed to just buying an investment property, renting it out, and you got one tenant to manage, one family, done. That's okay too. But if you wanted to double, even triple your income off the one property, roommates is the best way to go. Renting a room for a steal of a deal, $600 to $700, you'd be surprised in the number of traction you'll get with that. But again, there are some common areas, I like to call them, that you'll have to furnish, and kitchen, living room would be the biggest ones. But again, if you have an old couch, you've been wanting to buy new furniture anyway, put it in there. You got old dishes, you wanted new dishes, throw it in there. Those are good ways to furnish these types of houses and rental properties. You can also go down to Goodwill, clean out the stuff real good and furnish it, pots and pans. At Costco, you can get some pretty durable stuff there. IKEA is a great one. So there are ways around it if you want to go this path. But I just wanted to come on and talk about like the people who are trying to start out a single family home. Even if you did the classic renter, that's fine. Or if you wanted to double your money, maybe even triple it, depending on the market you're in, getting a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, something of that nature, I think is also a great alternative. So let me know what you think about that. I'm happy to go into more details on how I did it exactly, but that's in a nutshell how it worked for me, and it was fantastic. Honestly, I wish I still had it going today. I don't have that property anymore, but it definitely is a model that works in this high interest rate environment, because let's face it, interest rates are really high right now. So to make those mortgage payments, you got to have some really, you got to have your rents got to be high. Unless you find a deal. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying go overpay for something, because remember, the rule in real estate is all about the buy, not the sell. The sell is where you realize all those gains. It's all about the purchase. You buy it right and you hold it. This isn't a flip. I'm not a flipper. This isn't a quick, I'm gonna get in and get out. This is not the game for that. This is a buy and hold, steady growth over time. This is the best way to do it. So there's 2 ways to think about a single family investment home. The roommate route. You could rent out the rooms and figure out the number that you need to make it all work. Or your standard traditional, rent it out to a family or whoever, in need of a house, flat rate, hold it longer. One is gonna produce a lot more cash flow, but come with a lot more work, which is the roommate route. It's a lot more work, just no ways around it. And I should also say, as a caveat to that, personalities is huge for that. There's no way to screen that per se, but I definitely like to tell people right out of the gate, here's what you can expect by living here. And be black and white, because if it doesn't work for them, that's okay. You want to know that ahead of time, as opposed to getting into month 3 of their lease and there's a conflict, because I've had that happen, and it's not fun to navigate. So find good qualified people, and then the other route is your standard traditional single family rental, renting it out to one user, and that's it. So let me know what you think, and hopefully this is helpful. And again, my name is Antoine. I'm a Melodicinvestor, and just hoping to give you guys some good content and help you with your investing endeavors. Please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.